Welcome to 60 Skills, and today's discussion is, what is empowerment? Generally speaking, empowerment consists of the series of actions you engage in to increase the energetic throughput, or the ability of your body to generate this thing we call energy that's based off sensation that we have no scientific way to measure. Well, why do you want to do this? Primarily in terms of empowerment, the most important part is your ability to generate or gain access to what some call Akasha, or the power of the void. Now, the reason for this is pretty simple. Akasha, or that void state, is the last state in this series of events that lead up to enlightenment. So simply put, no empowerment equals no enlightenment. Now, the way you train empowerment has a lot to do with what you can do after you get to that enlightenment stage. All right, why do you want the enlightenment stage? Well, this is the reason why. There are a variety of ways to engage in esoteric or yogic practice. However, many of these rely upon willpower to maintain your independence as an individual in the face of these forces and entities. When you have Akasha, however, this allows you to dissolve the subtle bodies of these entities and therefore break connection with them. When you have access to non-dual light, you are tracked upon the path of your life's purpose. So by having enlightenment, i.e. empowerment of both Akasha and non-dual light, you are granted true free will. That way, the energies in the universe, whether planetary or otherwise, and the various entities out there, don't have much influence upon you. And therefore, this is very important. All right, what are the primary ways to engage in empowerment? Well, in the franzbardon system, as taught to me by Mark Rasmus, and as I teach to my students, relies upon a state of equilibrium, by which you stack the four primary elements of fire, air, water, and earth into the body, therefore generating a state of equilibrium which grants you access to Akasha. Other ways of doing this include going through the Kundalini via the microcosmic orbits, because the Kundalini is fundamentally about liberation of Akasha within the body, and small amounts of Akasha can be generated through various single-pointed focus exercises. Now, the training timelines on this vary quite a great deal, and side effects can also vary quite a bit as well. So, with the aspect of elemental equilibrium, it can take about 6 months, although frequently it takes less. Or in the orbits, it can take as little as 100 days if performed for 3 to 4 hours a day. And through the single-pointed focus exercises, barring any kind of natural ability, it can take years. Some systems, such as Zen, say it takes 10 years. All right, now we also talked about what you get out of it. The more energetic you make your practice, i.e. astral in nature, the more you can tend to do with these energies once you reach that enlightenment state. So, what are examples of activities that generate a lot of astral energy? Well, you've got the throwing or rebounding exercises, again, as taught to me by Mark Rasmus or via various Fa Jin, Tai Chi type things. You've got pranayama, you have the weightlifting exercises, and you also have holding posture. Now, all of these generate this kind of astral or subtle energy in different ways, and some of them can take quite a bit of practice, some of them require other individuals, so on and so forth, and they all have their various advantages and disadvantages. Now, keep in mind, how you generate this subtle energy in order to get access to Akasha has a lot to do with what your goals are. If you're a martial artist, you're going to be wanting to do a lot of rebounding, Fa Jin, and weightlifting exercises. If you're mostly interested in information, things like pranayama or holding posture, or simply the single-pointed focus exercises work just fine. In many of these cases, it's more a matter of volume than anything else. So, to recap, empowerment is a necessary part of enlightenment. No empowerment equals no enlightenment. How much empowerment you need, however, has a lot to do with what you intend to do with all of this once you reach that enlightenment stage. And keep in mind, you can just pursue empowerment without enlightenment. This is traditionally known as thaumaturgy, or miracle working. And it can be as simple as the miracle of the smashing of the bricks from iron palm practice to things like esoteric healing, so on and so forth. But unless you achieve that enlightenment state, you tend to still be heavily influenced by the different energies, planets, constellations, and entities out there in the greater esoteric world. So again, advantages and disadvantages. But finally, depending upon what you need, that should determine the kind of empowerment that you attempt to engage in. So that's a little bit of discussion about the issue of what is empowerment. If you like the topic of today's discussion, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you'd like to learn more about all of this, go to the details portion below the video in the box. Otherwise, have a great day, train hard, and be well.